Hey folks, my guest today is Jason Maxwell. He's founded a company called MP, which is formerly called MassPay, wired for HR in 2004. The company's been recognized on the Inc. 5000 list 8 times. Apart from MP, Jason founded Fed Up with Cancer, a nonprofit focused on cancer research and prevention. He lives outside of Boston with his wife and his 4 daughters. Jason, you ready to take us to the top?
Thanks for having me, Nathan.
You bet. Thanks for being here. You're in a very, very hot space. HR tech. You've got big folks like Vista buying up iCIMS and Bullhorn. You've got others rolling up Jazz HR and these sorts of firms. Where do you fit in the whole ecosystem?
So we fit in really the human capital management space along the lines of Paycom, Paycor, Paylocity, ADP, Paychex, Zenefits. Those are our primary competitors. We approach the space a little bit differently in that our technology is non-proprietary. We support a platform called iSolve, which is a human capital management suite that encompasses onboarding.
Can you spell that? Sorry.
ISOLVED.
iSolve. Got it. So you're paying basically to white label their tech. So really your distribution company.
Yes, we sell, implement, and support that platform, and we provide services around it.
I see. Sort of like how someone would be like a Salesforce service provider to help you install Salesforce.
Yes.
Do you have engineers on the team?
We don't.
Okay, got it. So there's no tech.
I mentioned that in my email. I wasn't sure if I fit into the prototype.
No, it's still interesting. It's not usually what we have on, but look, part of building a company is distribution. So, right. And services, right? A lot of SaaS going at scale, they build services in. So no, that's not a bad thing. I'm just trying to get your full story here. So, sure. So when did you first start selling or using iSolved and selling services around it? What year?
So in the beginning, so we're a 17-year-old company, but we partnered with iSolved in 2012.
Okay. So what were you doing between 2003 and 2012?
We were a pure payroll service focused on SMB. When we made the transition to iSolved, it was really designed to be a catalyst to reinvent ourselves into more of an HR technology and services provider.
Why was the payroll service not working?
Payroll service was just getting increasingly commoditized. So, there were a lot of players in the space, and where the need was for even small business was to help companies with healthcare reform, help companies to transition to a more remote workforce, onboard and offboard employees electronically, deal with multi-state taxation issues. So there was a big shift between 2008 and 2012, especially in lower mid-market companies, which we consider to be 50 to 500 employee companies, to transition off, pure payroll technology server platforms to cloud-based solutions that did a lot more than just payroll.
Okay, so your margins were getting compressed because it was being commoditized.
Yes, the pricing power of the large players in the space was really commoditizing the industry, and then you had the introduction of companies like Gusto, which came in with really low pricing, working a lot through the CPA channel. So especially in the SMB space, payroll was increasingly commoditized.
So Jason, what was your best year between 2003 and 2012? Most revenue?
So our best year in terms of year-over-year growth was 2011. We experienced 44% year-over-year growth. So
what was the actual number though?
That goes back a long way. So I'm going to guess it was growing from, at that point, 2 million to 3 million.
Okay, 2 million to 3 million. So say your fastest growth is from your first dollar to your first $10, right? 1,000%, growth. But 2 to 3 got it in 2011. You then did you shut it down completely in 2013 when you pivoted?
No. We transitioned our clients off a legacy payroll software platform to iSolve, and we started to build out the competency of our team to support other areas of HR tech. So employee benefits administration, timekeeping, onboarding, offboarding, HR workflows, and really position ourselves to pursue lower mid-market companies rather than SMB. So it was a shift from payroll to HR technology and services, and also a shift from SMB to lower mid-market.
So did you have your own tech team back then? Were you building your own payroll service? Or were you also licensing one back then too?
Yes, we were supporting one platform then. We
I see.
transitioned over the entire client base over 2 years to iSolved.
So iSolved. So how many customers are you working with now at iSolved?
So we work with 1,300 clients.
Wow. Okay. And what do they pay you? What's the model?
So the model is based on a per employee per month fee. It scales up anywhere from $8 per employee per month up to about $40 per employee per month, depending on the level of services that and functionality of the software platform that companies subscribe to.
$1,300 times 8. Is that 8 employees or 1,300 logos?
So we have just over 1,300 logos. Our average client has 29 employees. Our largest client has 3,200 employees.
Got it. So at eight on average, 29 employees at $8 a seat, the average customer is paying like $250 a month, something like that.
In SMB, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What's your highest customer paying you? Like, don't name them, but what's the most expensive?
So our largest client pays us about $400,000 annually. Okay. They subscribe to basically all of our services.
They get everything, right? For that price. They get you. They get a personal handwritten gift card on Valentine's Day from you directly, right? Okay. So 1,300 logos. And then you said on average 29 seats, right? So you've got almost 40,000 seats you're supporting on the platform, multiplied by $8 a seat. What's that? 320 grand in MRR, something like that?
So we're over that. So the low end of the spectrum is $8 per employee per month. The high end is 40. Average is 13.
Okay, got it. So you're then closer to like $500,000 a month.
Yes, our average deal value is 6,500, and we'll do 10 million in revenue this year. So we'll cross the 10 million in recurring revenue mark in 2021. And
where are you like right now? What did you do last month?
In terms of the revenue run rate, we're 650,000.
Oh, wow. Okay, got it. So $650,000 per month right now. We'll pass 10 million run rate by December. Where were you a year ago in terms of MRR? Do you remember?
MRR, 2020 was an interesting year, really because a lot of our clients downsized. So we only realized 4% growth last year, which was our lowest growth year in terms of, year-over-year numbers. So we were, I would say, 500,000.
500,000 a year ago. Yeah, interesting. Okay, well, this is great. So why? I mean, this is pretty meaningful. Why hasn't iSolved just acquired you to bring you in-house full time?
So iSolved has approached, a lot of companies like us in their ecosystem. So they are growing through M&A. We're pursuing a path of $25 million of recurring revenue in the next 5 years. We think there's opportunity to differentiate in our space really with our business model, providing, wraparound services focused on HR compliance, HR training, HR infrastructure, and talent acquisition.
Okay, but have you bootstrapped the business?
I did. I bootstrapped the business.
So you still own 100%?
I do.
Okay, Jason owns 100%. Got it. So if iSolved came to you and offered you, what's an agency multiple to on EBITDA? Something probably like 3 would be high, 1.5 would be average, I imagine. Are you super profitable?
We are profitable. We bring about 8% of the to the bottom line
monthly.
Annually, we go through cycles of hiring. So on an annual basis, we're driving about 8% of net income.
Yeah, that's 500. That's 600 grand to the bottom line this year, or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you value the company today?
So the companies are valued really as a multiple of revenue. Typically companies like us trade anywhere from 2.5 times revenue to, 5 times revenue.
That's top. You've seen that agencies trade for top line revenue at those multiples.
Yes.
Really, not EBITDA.
not EBITDA.
Interesting. So then
Yeah,
would you sell for 25 million bucks all cash up front today?
no.
Okay. So what and so why is that?
I like growing the business. I feel like we can position ourselves well. I feel like there's a ton of opportunity to be a stronger regional provider and make some noise in our space. So,
Mhm. What's
it's
your team size today? How many people?
we have 70 people,
7-0. Wow. Okay. And how many engineers?
zero. So,
Zero engineers. Okay.
yeah, I mean,
Sales
we have,
reps?
excuse me, sales
Sales.
reps. We have an account executive team of 12. We have an SDR team of 5. And we have a customer success team of 2.
Okay, fair. The folks that carry a quota, the AEs, how big is the quota usually?
Typically, it averages around $400,000. For newer AEs, they scale up to that level. For more experienced account executives, it could be as high as 650,000 of annual recurring revenue.
Interesting. That's what you want them to close per year.
Yes.
Yeah. Do people keep like a lot of services can be tricky, right? So like if people pay you to like get them set up on iSoft, what makes them keep paying for the seats every month? Like how sticky is this? What's churn?
Churn is very low, and it's really hard for companies to transition from one HCM platform to another. And really, the reason for that is companies hire us for our applicant tracking system, payroll, employee benefits administration, onboarding, offboarding. So to transition from one platform to another is a significant amount of work. So typically, we measure controllable churn and non-controllable churn. So controllable churn for us is, clients we lose to rivals. So in a given year, that averages about 4%. And then we typically experience 6 to 8% of non-controllable churn, which is, our clients get acquired or they go out of business.
What does net dollar retention look like? How much do you expand historical accounts to make up for the 10% churn gap?
So we are doing a much better job in 2021 than we have in recent years. So we will be positive net revenue retention this year by a modest amount. So 105% net revenue.
That's great. That's great. So if you churn 10%, controlled plus uncontrolled, and you expand 15%, your net is 105.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Net dollar retention. That's good stuff. Very cool. How are you getting new customers? What's your CAC?
So our client acquisition cost, our average deal value is 6,500, and it costs us about 11,000
Okay.
to bring on 6,500 of revenue. So typically we break even at like the 20-month mark.
Is that how do you make up that cash gap? Like, is that hard? Does that put stress on the business?
It does. It puts stress in the business. As we've grown, we've been able to absorb that cash flow impact more easily.
Mm-hmm.
So we've really got a model where we're investing about 26% of revenues back into sales and marketing, and we're bringing 8% to the bottom line. So it's pretty predictable from that standpoint, and we keep our average client for more than 6 years. So
that's great. Very cool.
So the lifetime value is strong.
Through the roof. Yeah. Jason, good stuff here, man. Let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, favorite business book.
Favorite business book. I'm going old school. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
CEO I follow or study. I'm a big fan of Angela Duckworth, who's not a CEO. She's more of a behavioral psychologist, but I think she's got a lot of great material on leadership.
Yep, she's a good one. A good book too. Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building the business?
Favorite online tool for building a business? We love Zoom Info.
Yep.
Huge Zoom Info.
Henry's been on the show many times. Hell of a story there. Good stuff. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Average of 6.5.
Okay. And situation, married, single, kids?
Married, 4 daughters.
Wow, you're a busy guy. How old are you?
I am 42.
42. Last question. What's something you wish you knew when you were 20?
Ooh. Invested in multifamily real estate.
Are you doing it now?
No.
Too expensive now, right?
Too expensive now.
Guys, MP.HR launched in 2003 purely as a payroll service, grew to about $3 million in revenue up in 2013. And Gusto killed them, pushed down margins in the SMB space. They pivoted. Now they do 7.8 million right now in terms of run rate. Services revenue, helping people install a tool called iSolve, the applicant tracking system, onboarding, offboarding, all that stuff. They work with over 1,300 customers that make up about almost 40,000 seats. Each customer pays about $600 in ACV. They're profitable. They take 8 to 10% of the bottom line every single month. So call it 50 to 60 grand of the bottom line every month. Team of 70, totally bootstrapped. Jason, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thanks so much, Nathan.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.